having to stop at an ATM whilst you're having a heart attack. When they see a foreigner come to the hospital, suddenly the rates double. Provincial hospitals, public hospitals, I wouldn't go near.
What are the biggest mistakes that expats in Asia, in the Philippines, make when it comes to health care and health insurance? What's the single best tip you ever gave an expat about preparing for an emergency? Is it your advice you need to start saving to self-insure? So you're the go-to guy on healthcare and health insurance.
Some clients call me the bulldog.
Welcome to another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines. Michael Onstad, the individual most knowledgeable about healthcare and healthcare insurance in the Philippines. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for traveling here. Michael, I think I mentioned you in our best-selling book, Fly Me to the Philippines, as the travel expert.
I'm going to have to buy a copy.
You at least one. You should give one out to every client.
There you go.
Today, Michael, we're going to learn a little about you before we talk about medical insurance, but we're going to talk about healthcare in the Philippines, medical insurance in the Philippines. This is your area of expertise. You've sort of become known as the expat Westerner in the Philippines to go to, and you've really got an expansive knowledge on this subject. So if you have any medical concerns, you want to stay tuned. But first, we want to learn a little bit about Michael, the man. When did you originally come to the Philippines?
Almost 8 years ago.
8 years. And how old are you?
66.
And what's your backstory? And where's home?
Home's Vancouver, Canada.
Ah, Canuck.
I am.
And were you an insurance broker in Canada?
Since I was 21 years old. I guess that makes it 45 years now.
Were you married when you came?
No, I got married when I came.
So you're married now
but
to a Filipino?
I was married twice in the Western world.
Okay, kids?
I got lots of them.
Lots of
I lost count at 7.
Do you have any half Filipino children?
Yes, I have one.
One. So did you meet online or did you meet here in the Philippines?
We spent 5 years on Facebook, and then I finally got here.
So 13 years ago you met her?
Yes.
And how old is it? What's the age gap?
The age gap be 20 years.
20 years, okay. Then how old are you again?
66.
So she's 45, and you've been together 8 years, so she was like 37 when you came, and 32 when you met online.
Yeah.
And now with the 5 years, did you meet during those 5 years?
No.
You were just LDR for 5 years?
Yeah, no, I had to clean up a little bit of a mess with
Aisle
the
5.
ex-wives.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
so how did this work? How did you keep her waiting for you for 5 years?
Well, she stuck in there, and we spoke every day. I mean, yeah, that is a long time.
That's a crazy long time.
Well, I figured I must have a real committed person, and she never asked for money.
You know, I always tell Western men, your superpower is you have a cape, you can put it on, you can fly to the Philippines, and boom, you'll really do well. You made her wait 5 years, no superpower.
Yeah, well, it wasn't entirely my choice, but I got here.
You've had, hopefully just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
So what part of the Philippines did you initially land in, and what were your first impressions?
Well, of course, when you first get here, it's pretty rosy. It's not until you're here for a year or two that you realize it has its issues. But if you focus on the good things, you can make it.
So which part did you land in?
La Union province.
La Union?
Yeah. I haven't moved since. That's where her family is.
So she's
not going to budge.
No, that's where La Union, the beach is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the second best surfing beach in the
That's what they
Philippines.
say. I've yet to see a wave over 2 feet, except for typhoons, and they don't let you in the water during a typhoon.
So let me ask you, because people say it's only an hour and 15 minutes from Baguio down to La Union.
That's right.
How long does it take to get back up?
Well, with the traffic, you're looking at 2 hours.
2 hours back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always tell people Baguio means typhoon in Visayas.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah. So you've been here 8 years. Long term, you plan to live the rest of your days out here in the Philippines?
That's the plan.
And how old is your child?
7.
7?
Yeah,
Wow.
I work very fast.
You have a network of thousands of expats you're talking to all the time, pretty much?
I'm always on the computer,
Yeah.
handling emergency check-ins.
Yeah, yeah.
making sure things sort of run smoothly.
Right, but you've got a pretty good assistant. I usually talk to Miles.
Yeah, Miles is a registered nurse. She's worked in the hospital system. She speaks the lingo and she deals with the hospital. She interfaces directly. Yeah, it's a must here. Okay. Because they tend to drag their feet on paperwork and documentation. We like to get people checked out on a cashless basis. And that works 95% of the time. It sometimes gets muddy where there's a pre-existing condition and it's a little blurry as to whether if their condition was covered. So that gets difficult. That's when I jump in.
Okay. A lot of people know your face and have heard your name. You've been on a few other vlogs. You are the go-to guy here in maybe not just the Philippines, but I think you're doing Thailand and Cambodia.
I just opened up all of Asia.
All of Asia. So you're the go-to guy on healthcare and health insurance. I'm going to lunch with a friend of mine. He's 86. 86. He is flying back and forth to the West. He just drove his own vehicle. He owns a vehicle here in the Philippines from Davao, 5-6 hours through the Bukidnon Mountains. Crazy active, very, very active, living their best life into, the late 80s. So it's something that we all aspire to, Michael, and I think that your being here today could maybe help us figure out how to manage it. Let me just go ahead and pick your brain and pull out some of the questions. First question I get asked all the time, what are the biggest mistakes that expats in Asia, in the Philippines, make when it comes to health care and health insurance?
I'd say the biggest is they rely on a travel insurance policy, not realizing their, in essence, accident coverage. Yeah. If you have a heart attack or a stroke, the company's going to dig deep for a pre-existing condition to not pay you. It's just the way it is. Okay? So they rely on that. And, sometimes you just have to because you're only here for 3 or 4 months. But if you're here for over 6 months, you might want to look at some long-term coverage, even though you're paying for the full year. So you're sort of eating it for 6 months. No value really. But you can always return to the Philippines for treatment. But then again, most of my guys are American. They have Medicare, so they would just get treated at home.
So let me ask you this: I have been carrying my Medicare Part B. I pay $230 a month for a really good supplemental with a really low deductible. I can go to the Mayo Clinic. I can go to the doctor in Boston when I visit my daughter. Plus, I have a pharmacy plan that they bumped it up to like $75 a month, but I don't take any prescriptions. Plus I pay for the peso plan with you, and I'm up to almost $500 a month, and I never go to the hospital for anything. So open season starts October 15th. What do you tell men who have to make the decision about keeping their Medicare in? Now, I know there's a plan I can buy that'll rebate me $100 if I take a huge deductible. If I tell them I don't live in the country and I take like a $15,000 deductible, they'll refund me $100 of my $186 roughly. What do you tell people that have a situation like mine?
Most guys drop their Part B.
They drop the Part B.
If they're here,
totally drop
they drop.
And they're willing to assume
because you can reinstate it if something happens.
At 10% for every year.
Per year.
Every year you're missing. So even 5 years later, it's 50% extra. $250 instead of $186.
Chances are you'll never need it.
Never need it. So most guys drop it.
Most of them drop it.
So Michael, you were talking about reinstating Medicare. So you recommend getting rid of that $186 a month, getting rid of Part B, and 5 or 10 years later, just pay the 10% per year penalty if you need it.
If you do go back.
Okay. So your advice to expats is get rid of your Medicare. Most of your clients, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's a big decision, but it's only 10%.
And the decision also is predicated on how successful we are in covering your pre-existing conditions. So you might want to keep it in place for the first year until we're past that hurdle. The waiting period.
I think this is people's biggest decision. What is another most common mistake?
Coming here with lots of health conditions. If you're willing to take the risk, and quality of life is more important than quantity, go for it. You mentioned earlier you spend a lot of your time helping people get admitted and discussing pre-existing. How is the hospital experience here in the Philippines different than the West? Well, it's just a matter of efficiency and speed. They don't move as quickly. There's no urgency, so I've got to light a fire
And in terms of the different quality experience, do people get decent care here?
Yeah, it can be spotty. Provincial hospitals, public hospitals, I wouldn't go near. But for advanced care, St. Luke's is great.
Yeah, in Manila.
Yeah.
So you think private hospitals, you can get better than average care or just average care?
Well, it's such a moving target. I have a Facebook group, and I always use it as a way of identifying the hospitals in that particular area by people that have experienced the service.
Right.
You can never really trust, marketing material
So if somebody,
until it comes directly from a guy that's done it.
Yeah. So if somebody needs a referral for a good hospital or a good doctor, you have a Facebook group.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Health Insurance in the Philippines.
Health Insurance in the Philippines. And you could go there and you can search the last 3 years of questions that have already been asked. So what about a really healthy retiree, somebody who's 62, very healthy, or even 66? Why should they think seriously about medical insurance here in the Philippines?
Well, the main reason is getting past the gate without having to stop at an ATM whilst you're having a heart attack to withdraw the deposit to get in. The plans come with an access card. That gets you in and the treatment initiated immediately.
Okay, so that's the main advantage. The golden hour might turn into the golden 3 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
Or not so golden.
The other moving target is when they see a foreigner come to the hospital, suddenly the rates double. Whereas with insurance, it's all predetermined.
Yeah.
And they can't play that game.
Right. You're going to do a meet and greet at Kale Clubhouse, which is sort of an expat weekly meeting spot and a really good restaurant here in Cagayan de Oro, Wednesday afternoon, probably the day after this airs. Danny, the owner, I said to him, he's from Australia, and I said to him, do you have health insurance? He said, no. He said, I have a credit card from Australia, and when I check into the hospital, I give him the credit card. And if I check out, I pay the bill. What do you say to that?
Well, that's predicated on the internet being up and running because the credit card machine doesn't work without internet. I've heard of those experiences.
Okay.
Of course, they're going to, there's a high potential that they're going to gouge you, but you better have a couple of million pesos kicking around.
Couple million.
Yeah, well,
37, 36,000, 2 million.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question I want to ask you about. I just have $1 million peso policy myself because I see my friends, full hip replacement, 12,000, heart attacks, 4,000. Why would somebody need 40,000 US dollars here in the Philippines?
Well, I've seen it. I mean, heart attacks, cancer, where you're undergoing ongoing treatments.
And that's every year, so it starts over the next year.
It starts over the next year.
Okay.
It resets.
Is that the
I've had some motorcycle accidents that, 3.5 million and counting.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
They're not awake yet.
No real comas, okay. Yeah. But it is uncommon.
Yeah, it is.
Like 2% of the time, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So 8 years ago when you first arrived, what surprised you most about the healthcare system here in the Philippines?
Well, I didn't have much to do with it, until, I go to Lorma. It's a hospital in La Union.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get an open heart surgery there. I would go to St. Luke's.
You would go to St. Luke's. And so, the Pacific Cross plan that I have, I could just pick up and go to St. Luke's, and it doesn't really matter. So you're really only stuck in the province or only stuck with your local hospital if you can't get on a $50 airplane flight 24 hours. I could just feel bad, head to the airport, walk right into St. Luke's, show my insurance card.
You got it.
Yeah,
you're good.
I've got this peso-denominated plan, and how does that compare to these international US dollar-denominated plans?
Well, most of the international plans are way overkill for the Philippines.
How so?
Well, we'll start at $500,000 US. I can't imagine how you spend $500,000 US.
Well, you just said 2 million.
2 million
Oh,
pesos.
half a mil. 2 million
pesos.
Okay, so they start at 500,000 US,
Yeah.
and the plan
So
I
that's
have
28 million
is
pesos.
18,000, 20,000
You get a
pesos.
head transplant for that.
So the number one difference, they're just
And so you're overinsuring.
overinsured and overpaying.
Plus, you don't have the interaction. You don't have the layer of service that you need for things to work here. I got to expound on that. Okay. I have an office, four designated staff.
Yeah.
Half of them are with Pacific Cross. The other half I hired myself.
Okay.
And that's what I bring to the table is service.
And so, I have an insurance card, proof of insurance, and my wife knows where it is, and it's on her phone. She doesn't need to call you. She just needs to go to the hospital, show that to the hospital.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, but you should give me a heads up regardless.
If you're headed to the hospital. So when you have an emergency, people should call.
Yeah.
Really?
Or send me a message.
Send a message.
Yeah, a message is better because then I know it's not a spam call.
Yeah.
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 I do get those.
Yeah. I've consulted with about 500 expats in the last 16 months, and a full one third are military veterans and on medical disability of one form or another. Mm-hmm. How does that play out here? I mean, I know a lot of them want to live near Manila if they have service-related injuries.
Right.
But how does it play out with people who have some level of VA care and a lot of people who have, Medicare still back home? How does that really play out as it integrates into Philippine healthcare?
Well, of course, there's only one facility in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
There's no hospitals. I have a lot of clients that are in that position, and they insure for the catastrophe. This hospitalization, things that are unanticipated.
So if they're traveling around the Philippines,
if traveling around,
get stabilized
they want to
until
get
they
in.
can get back to Manila.
Yeah, but even if they get back to Manila, all they're going to get there is a prescription. They're not going to get hospitalized.
But they get sent to St. Luke's and it gets covered.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's in some cases.
So depends on the level.
I've heard it's unreliable.
Okay.
And that's not for me.
So if you were consulting with one of my clients, and let's say he had $3,900 US per month in his disability, and he can go to Manila because it's service related and he's entitled to health care, but he doesn't want to live in Manila or he wants to travel around Asia, you'd recommend he get a policy just for emergencies.
That's right. Get you in, get treatment initiated, then we can work it out after the fact.
Okay.
That's the key.
Yeah. Let's talk about people in general. What's the biggest hidden cost that people overlook about healthcare and healthcare insurance here in the Philippines?
The biggest hidden cost?
Yeah.
Well, I try to minimize the hidden costs by telling them about it.
Yeah, well, so what is the thing that they
Oh, they didn't read the surgeon's fee limit on the brochure. There's a surgeon's fee. There's internal limits to all health insurance policies. Yeah. This only happened once, but the guy went with a lower end peso plan. And then 8 years later, I didn't even sell the policy to him, but 8 years, I took it over.
He hit the limit 8 years later?
I took it over from another broker because I'm known for service. I get a lot of transfers. So he missed the surgeon's fee limit of 90,000 pesos. No, yearly limit, 90,000 pesos,
here in the Philippines,
which covers a lot.
Yeah.
But he went in for multiple stent installations, and he ended up at about 700,000 pesos. So he was short.
Yeah.
600,000.
I hear. I've never had health issues myself, but I had dengue in March, and I was on my back for 2 weeks and weak for 2 weeks. I never was hospitalized or anything, but now that I've had it, I'm a little bit susceptible.
That's what I heard. Once you've had it once, you're more susceptible.
And you can't really get a vaccine unless you for my age, you have to be, only in Europe do they give it.
Yeah, there's no safe vaccine.
And I just got bit by a mosquito 4 days ago on my neck. My wife went like that, it was blood. I'm not panicking, but there's supposedly if you get one of the other 3 dengue variants, you could have a very difficult time.
Yeah, I've had people hospitalized. They need blood transfusions to keep the platelet count up, or they die.
And so now that I've had it once, if I were to have a real heavy fever for 2 or 3 days, I'd go right to the hospital.
Yeah.
So how do you advise people? Should they pick a 1 million peso plan, 19,000 US, a 5 million peso plan, which is like 90,000 US dollars? How do you recommend people choose between these plans?
Well, the main factor is, do they have Medicare or do they have a go home to plan? If you have that, then all you really need is something sufficient to put you back together so they'll let you fly home.
Okay.
So then I recommend generally the peso plan.
Okay, so that's like a patch-up plan, just to get you home.
Yeah, I call it the Humpty Dumpty plan.
Get you to Guam or something, right?
No, you don't want to go to Guam.
I heard Guam's not good.
Not good.
Not good.
I heard that.
But Hawaii or California.
Oh, Hawaii's fine.
Yeah.
But you got to last the flight.
Yeah. Now, what about a guy who's got $150,000 in cash in his bank? Does he need a medical insurance plan, or should he self-insure?
Well, I'd self-insure if he can do without the money.
If the money can disappear.
If the money can disappear, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, when people get older, these prices go up dramatically.
And you want to be saving. You want to build up.
So you want to build up for what it's going to cost.
Yeah, you don't want to be paying premiums at 85 if you can avoid it.
So tell me, this is really, because you just published on your Facebook group, and it came to my feed, and I noticed that once you get to be like 88 years old, you're paying like not $1,000 a year, but $5,000 a year. It gets, and you said, ouch, when it was 90 plus.
I don't even publish it.
So how do people...
Little humor
so
in there.
Is it your advice, you need to start saving to self-insure?
Yeah, for advanced ages, or you go back home.
Or you go back home. Yeah. And so I'm 69. I turned 70 in 9 months. There's going to be a pretty good jump as I go through the 70s.
It's about 5% a year.
Is that what it is? That's
yeah,
5%?
And then it levels off at 76 for 5 years, and then 81 for 5 years. Yeah.
So if you have Medicare back home and you're paying that $186 a month, or in Arizona, there's an Advantage plan that'll only charge you $86 a month, but you have $15,000 deductible for the first year. Something like that. Keep that in place, and then you're paying.
Can you imagine those spending $15,000 here for any kind of medication?
That's just why.
That's nonsense.
I mean, unless you have this motorcycle accident or you have a cancer that can't be named. Because the doctors here are so cheap. All labor here is so inexpensive. I mean, $7 a day is the minimum wage here in Mindanao.
Wow.
What's the single best tip you ever gave an expat about preparing for an emergency?
If you live in a province, Lazada has a great deal on defibrillators. 120,000 pesos, you can get one of those home defibrillators.
Teach your wife how to use it.
Yeah, teach your wife how to use it, and whoever you can get to.
And you've given that tip. Clients have used them.
I have.
Do you have one at home?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
You're only 66.
Yeah, I'm only 66. Okay. I go in regular checkups. I do teach them CPR. That's another thing. CPR is not common knowledge here.
Yeah.
That's another tip.
Okay, teach CPR.
And you might want to have an oxygen tank too. They're cheap. Because remember, the ambulances here generally do not have equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
But if they arrive, here, in my book, I print response times for around the country.
Yeah.
It's 40 minutes here. Now, there's a hospital 2 kilometers away, so
you're better off walking.
I have a bongo truck. I'm going in the back.
That's all right. That's another tip I give. Rely on a friend with an SUV.
Yeah, get to the hospital.
Car, or even
in Chicago, Illinois, it's 8 minutes. Big city like that with a lot of traffic, 8 minutes is response time. So, a defibrillator. What other equipment would you recommend to have at home?
Other than the oxygen tank, that's it.
That's it. And why would you use the oxygen tank?
Well, if you're having a heart attack, it mitigates the damage, or a stroke even.
Yeah.
Gets oxygen to the brain in higher concentrations, mitigating the brain damage.
Okay. So what's my best advice in terms of my Filipino extended family?
Well, the minimal peso plan.
Oh, minimal peso plan. Yeah. As a plus PhilHealth. PhilHealth's like $10 a month for Filipinos.
Yeah, that's a touch. That's 50-50. It will cover in a public hospital 50% approximately. So that's a nice,
PhilHealth.
yeah, PhilHealth.
You should put every single one of them on PhilHealth.
I would do that because since they are locals, they are included for catastrophic.
Yeah.
Foreigners are not.
But the PACE
That's
plan.
another thing I'll emphasize. A lot of guys buy PhilHealth think it's doing something for them, but heart attack, strokes, and cancer, no. Never. Schedule Z exemptions, it's on the website. You're not covered.
So for me, do I need PhilHealth? I'd have to have $1 million plus in charges per year.
I don't generally recommend it.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah. Now, there is one other thing. If you're out in the province and there's only public hospitals, it will get you in.
It'll get you in.
Yeah, so if it's not on the accredited list of Pacific Cross, it'll get you into the public hospital.
So we have this private hospital right down the road, and there are 4 major hospitals. I should check to see if they're on the list.
Yeah, I was going to check that before I came, but I didn't have time.
Yeah, maybe before you head back.
I know there are.
Which one's it? Because you're going to get asked that when you're at KL on Wednesday. Yeah. So getting in is a big issue.
Yeah.
Now I have. My wife is familiar with where to lay her hands on a few $1,000s just to get me in the hospital, kind of a thing. You always want to have somebody else have access to your emergency funds. Yeah. What else do you want to tell people? A lot of people are back in the West living vicariously watching these YouTube channels. Mm-hmm. They're trying to figure out if they can meet a girl like Chrissy, if they can live on a patio overlooking a canyon with a nice breeze, great temperatures, paradise. But the medical thing just confounds them. What else can you share with them to tell them to get off the couch and make the leap?
Well, I always recommend that someone submit their application in advance of their arrival so they know in advance what it's going to cover. That'll be part of your decision. Mm-hmm.
If they have pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll permanently exclude them. Typically, they give you a 12-month waiting period.
Yeah, we talked about this over coffee. Now, I signed up 2 years ago. I had a 1-year waiting period. I didn't have any pre-existing conditions, but a lot of people do. You mentioned they've changed that recently.
Not recently, more like 2.5 years ago. Okay, so the way it was, and this was generally true with all insurance companies. If you contract something that's evidently started before you took the policy, that would be excluded in the first year.
Right.
Now, if you are unaware of the condition, and a good example was I had a guy who had prostate cancer, and he had it in his first year.
Yeah.
And they paid the claim because he was not aware that he had prostate cancer, even though it's obvious the prostate cancer before. 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So that's paid now.
Okay. And is it still a 1-year waiting period?
No.
It's
after 30 days, you're covered for everything except known pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
Unknown, you're covered.
Okay. So, Michael, how do people get a hold of you?
Best way is Facebook Messenger. It's the way they roll here.
Okay.
But I have WhatsApp. It's we can post my.
Okay, we'll post your messenger.
Contact.
I'm going to put your Facebook profile page here and your contact information right here on the screen. You sell insurance, and there's another kind of insurance that the people back home might be interested in. Chrissy does this open source social media investigations. Like before you get on a plane and spend all that money to come see a Filipina, she'll do a rotor-rooter root canal on their social media. And the link for that insurance is right here. Just email us at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com. The book has been #1 in Philippines travel on Amazon for over 6 months. The paperback is flying off the shelf.
By the way, if you go on the internet and you look at the reviews of all these domestic insurance companies, they're not nice.
No, it's
I make all the difference.
So let me. This is what let's say. People just hate on insurance companies and hate on insurance because in America, they make you fill out the claim, and a lot of companies they just reject it because they know that 20% of people will fall off.
Well, I don't want that happen.
And it's like, why would you accept the claim? Because 20% will fall off. It's good business to reject them the first time.
What they don't understand is that ruins their reputation and any future growth. And I've made that case to Pacific Cross. I said, you know, this is a borderline claim. I see your argument. I see the client's position. But if you pay it, I'm going to get 10 referrals and a hero's recommendation on my Facebook group. If you don't pay it, I'm going to get negative, and I'm going to lose 20.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
So I guess you're offering a level of personal service. You've got 4 people, including yourself, in your office. You say if there's a medical incident, before you head to the hospital, give yourself a call.
Yep, drop me a line.
Alert you, make sure it goes smoothly. So you're in a foreign country. People are here alone. They don't have family. No. They arrive without friends. And having Michael in your corner, in addition to the people that consult with us, is a nice level of comfort that you can have.
Yeah, some clients call me the bulldog.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Bulldog Michael, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. Good health, everybody. Come join us in the Philippines.